Exactly right. That's why I've learned to read and write to water.
Mm-hmm. And using your crystals to do it with.
Right. I use gems. Gems are higher frequency level than crystals.
Okay, that's interesting.
Gems are really crystals that have been, what do you call it when they work on a crystal? They shape it. They do these different things to gems, right?
It's slipping my mind, but yeah, I know what you're saying. It's like taking a diamond in the rough and grinding it down to make the nice diamond.
Exactly right, and that's a certain frequency. So a lot of these people, when they're working with, so I used to do that where I could work on a gem, but I would just tune into the frequency and create that gem of that frequency.
Okay,
and I have these gems there. The frequencies doesn't change. So I learned how to take that frequency, write it to the water. And I would get a couple other gems, put them together. You have this music of frequencies. You see, so a lot of times I would make something that would be like, generally speaking, for everything in the body, right? Your body would go, whoa, let me pick this. Because that's what happened. Your organs would pick a certain frequency. That's what it's going to tune into. Another organ to pick another frequency. You see, and each frequency supercharged with that mineral, with that frequency of the mineral, because that's all it really is the frequency of the mineral. When a cosmic beam shoots through the earth, it leaves the frequency of the mineral, doesn't leave the cosmic beam ray, right? The crystals, whether it be gems, whatever, absorb that frequency. They vibrate to that frequency, and they keep on vibrating at that frequency.
Yeah, until something else comes and changes the frequency.
Until something else comes and either destroys it or counteracts it. Lots of different things can happen. That's the way Mother Nature is. That's why we're constantly have to recharge.
Yeah.
Because we have so many frequencies around us. Electromagnetic fields are not a very good frequency to be involved with.
And that's why grounding is so important.
That's why grounding. So what happens is that when you get grounded, trees, whatever, you form an electromagnetic field around yourself that counteracts any of the other negative electromagnetic fields.
Yeah.
You see, right? And to me, I think it's fascinating because I've always thought, marijuana is just one of these things that comes from nature. So mushrooms has its own frequency. LSD has its own frequency, even though LSD is not found in nature. Yes, it is, because it's through the fungus in nature. You can trip on it just like you're doing. And same thing with DMT or the toad. All of these are nature, which means they have absorbed that frequency that puts out.
Right.
And when you tune into that frequency, it's really mind-blowing because a lot of these frequencies are not just earthbound frequencies, they're like cosmic frequency, right? Who knows where that ray came from, right? Where that cosmic micron, atom came from, right?
Yeah.
Right? And it traveled through the earth in a nanosecond, and it kept on going to another galaxy, another place, right? And it does the same thing everywhere it goes through. Leave this really cool frequency.
So you got to wonder if that was a thought of the universe, or if you want to call it God or source or however you want to term it. If that each frequency is just a particular thought that some entity had, and it went out from that entity, and it's just traveling around the universe and the galaxy.
I like you because you have the ability, like Leighton, to understand what the fuck I'm talking about, and that's exactly right.
Well, thank you.
And that's exactly right, because when I was doing LSD really heavily for once, and I wrote down a formula, and I call it the formula for the universe.
Okay.
And next thing I know, it was like 5 years ago, this guy on YouTube, as a matter of fact, if you look up YouTube, formula for the universe, it's going to come up, and he's going to explain it to you, what a fractal is.
Yeah.
A fractal is a visual representation of, quote, God. A fractal. And if you look at it, you know how it gets smaller and smaller and smaller, larger and larger. It's all the same, right? And there's a place, and so there's a formula for that. And I'm looking at it. He's writing the formula, and I'm looking for my paperwork, and I pull up this thing. I'm going, it's the same formula. It blew my mind away because I'm not a mathematician, but I can handle frequencies. I can handle energy. It's all math. Talk about mathematician. They go, yeah, it's all math. Quantum theory, it's all math.
Quantum physics, yeah.
It's all math. It really is. And that tells me that It's not a chaos. It's not a it's not a random thing that's all mass. This has an intelligence behind it.
And then if you consider that 0 doesn't actually exist, only 1 to 9 actually exists in math, and 0 is an anomaly created.
It's a placeholder.
Yeah, yeah.
You should read about the guy who created 0, because it's like because as a magician, a master magician, he wasn't getting it together. So that 0, it really represents God. I mean, I'm not a religious person, but I'm going, there's something going on here. Something is not a coincidence. All this has fallen. Galaxies, dimensions, time and space, all of it is done on purpose. Something happened that caused all these things to happen on purpose. It's not a coincidence that it's not a coincidence you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Somebody put them together, made that.
So somebody had to.
The universe is that way, and I'm saying, and my goal has always been to leave the body and talk to God. But no matter how far I go, the further I go, the more there's still to go.
Or is God just a matter of looking inside of yourself and communicating with yourself as an entity that's supposed to be a representation of God? And what is God?